everybody, and welcome to season 2, episode 1 of Perched Kitty. And I just finished traveling over 2,000 miles with Iggy, who is right behind me there. And I wanted to give everybody some traveling tips for dealing with your cat when you're on the road. Some cats are travel friendly, others are not. And so I'm fortunate that Iggy was travel friendly. And there were a few rules that I followed that kind of really helped a lot to keep her calm on the road and to keep everybody, me happy because I'm traveling with her by myself. So, I'm dealing with all of it. And so one of the first things I thought about was, what kind of carrier did I want to use to put her in? And I thought about the hard shell carriers, like you see with the air vents, and there's not a lot of viewing going on there. And then I looked at the dog crates, the soft dog crates, and they're like probably 30 by 30. And they fit perfectly into the back seat of a car. As long as you keep that seat up a little bit. If you're traveling with multiple passengers, push it back, it's going to be a little tight, but it will fit. And what I did was, instead of providing her food and water during the travel time, I just put the litter box and a familiar blanket in the crate with her. And this worked out really well because it limited the mess. It kept her area cleaner. And at night when we stopped at hotels the next morning, I would just throw that litter box out and replace it with another disposable litter box. This works very well when you're traveling if you want to keep your car clean. The one thing about those crates too is there's no holes. It's just completely, sealed in. So if litter does get thrown out of the box, then it stays in that crate. It doesn't get on the seats. That is one of the biggest pluses. And it's not going to hurt your cat to go for an 8-hour drive without food and water. Because once you stop somewhere, you need to provide that to them immediately. So the first thing I do is take her out of the car, take her into the hotel room, and give her her water and her food right there, and that occupies her. Some cats will initially want to hide when you go into a hotel room, and that's perfectly normal. Others will just start investigating. You can see the difference, or they're running or their tails are up and they're looking at everything. And Iggy was pretty good. She did a little bit of both, depending on the hotel. What it is when you walk into these rooms, they're smelling other people, they're smelling other cats, they're smelling animals, they're smelling God knows what they're smelling. And so it can be a little traumatizing for them. So what I recommend is you bring a blanket that only they sleep on. Don't wash this during the trip, okay? Keep it so that it smells like them or smells like you or the person that they're bonded to or the family. And whatever surface you want them to sleep on, this is where you want to put that blanket. And even if they're hiding, just let them hide. But when they do finally come out to eat and drink and want to go to sleep and be with you, then they're going to get on that blanket. What I did in rooms that had king-size bed, I just put it at the foot of the bed, and she would get right up on it. In rooms that had double beds, I would either put it at the foot of my bed or put it on the other bed to give her some space. Because some rooms are really big and other rooms are really small, and depends on what hotel you stay at. I also recommend that you buy a halter or a holster so that if you have to take her out of the car without the crate, then you're going to need to be able to hold on to her and not worry about her getting away or him getting away. And if you have a halter or a holster with a leash that you can wrap around your hand, put this on them before you take them out of the car. That ought to be fun. Actually, Iggy was pretty good about it. I did it one time just to test it out, and it worked really well. And that way you can carry them without worry if they scoot away from you that they're going to go. You'll have that leash holding on to them, and you're like hanging there. You didn't go anywhere, did you? So, that's one of the best suggestions I can make if you have to take. I had one instance where the temperature was below zero. It was extremely cold. I don't remember where this was, but it was freezing. I could not even pick up the crate with my gloves on. And during that drive, my cold-hot temperature gauge had gone down to cold while I was driving. That tells you it's cold. And so anyway, we got to this hotel, and it was so cold, I couldn't pick up the crate. So what I did was I sat back in the car, put the halter on her, and we basically ran to the room like that because it was so cold you didn't want to be out there. And so that worked out really well. She did try to scoot out of my arms, but it didn't matter because I had a good grip on her with the halter. She couldn't get away from it. And if you get the right size and, then everything, you don't have to worry about them backing out of it. Don't let them turn around on you if they have to be put on the ground. The other thing I recommend is making sure you kind of look ahead for hotels that are cat friendly. I did not really do this. I just sort of, hit and miss whatever I could find that was within my budget, and it was clean and safe looking. And what I found was Quality Inns and Holiday Inn Express were two of the best places that I found to stay. The best one, like one in the Ozark Mountains, was awesome. They're on the highways if you're going east or west on 84 or on 40 or 70. You'll find Quality Inns. I found them to be, for the most part, very clean. I only found one, and that was in Texas, that was not cat friendly. I also recommend the Holiday Inn Express. They're typically a little bit more expensive than Quality Inn, but they are cat friendly, and they're very, very nice there. And their cat fees, the cat fees range anywhere from $5 to $20. If somebody asks you to pay more than that for a cat fee, go to some other hotel because they're trying to gouge you money. I'm going to mention this hotel. It's called Residence Inn. It's in Amarillo, Texas. I called to see about a room there and was told the cat fee was $100. Now, I could have rented her a whole room for that, okay? And so, beware of stuff like that. Don't let them rope you into that and think that that's normal, because it's not. The average fees are between $5 and $20. And I recommend Quality Inns and Holiday Inn Express Inns and suites, and even Best Western to some extent. You have to be careful what kind of payment you're using at Best Westerns because they will freeze your money up on your debit card. So just be aware of Best Western plus Inns. But as far as the others go, Holiday Inn, Quality Inns, I didn't have those kinds of problems, and they were very cat friendly. Best Western was as well. They gave me a very nice room. It was very clean. It was in wine country over in Boise. It was a cool place, and the price was not unreasonable. If you're traveling with an animal, you're going to expect to pay a little bit more because of the fee. It's going to be added to your room charge. Also, when you're going into a hotel, they can charge you for stuff after you leave. And so I was very careful to make sure I didn't leave any litter on the floor, food on the floor, from the cat. I even actually went to the front desk and borrowed a little sweeper broom and a dustpan to make sure I cleaned up behind her. Because that's just courtesy, especially if you checked into a hotel that's really nice. Now, I did check into a one-dive hotel, and very snarky front desk clerk and put me at the other end of the hotel, but I was able to park right in front of my room because it's one of those outdoor rooms. So just watch out for different places, especially this kind of a side of the road, don't have any interior rooms. Try to stick with the interior rooms. That way, if the cat does get out, you might have a better chance of catching them than if you're in an exterior room. Whenever I checked into a hotel with an exterior room, I made sure she had her halter on if I took her out, and I made sure that crate was zipped up good. And I just took the whole crate out and took her into the room. Only one time, like I said, with that one hotel where it was below zero, that I had to take her out with the halter. But it's otherwise, traveling with a cat can be okay. Don't let them loose in the car. I succumbed to this because she was like, "Mommy, let me out." I'm like, "Okay, just for a minute." And I'm driving down the interstate, and all of a sudden she's in the back of the window, which is kind of cool. And then she's sitting in the seat, and it was okay too. She's sitting on top of the carrier, then she gets up on the dashboard. But then she tried to get under my feet. That's when I had to draw the line, and she was being very persistent. She kept trying, taking away my attention from the road. Do not let your cat roam the car. I don't care how much they beg, how much they cry. Don't let them roam the car. The one thing I too discovered about that is when she got into the back window, people would pull up on my tail to see what it was because they knew it wasn't a dog, and then most people had never seen a cat, riding free in a car. So I had people coming really close up on my rear end, and I didn't like that much. So I pulled over and went back into the carrier. And I learned from that it's okay for them to travel that 8 or 9 hours during the day without the food, the water, and the thing, as long as when you get to the hotel, you immediately take care of their needs. I found that she slept throughout the whole day. Every now and then when she got tired of riding, like when it was getting close time for me to stop, she would start to whine because she just needed to get out, and I don't blame her. So you can kind of tell. I would drive from, I was driving from like 9 a.m. probably until about 7 p.m., but I took like little short naps in between. She was pretty good during those times too. She just would sleep, in the crate. So all in all, the trip was not bad. And if you follow those suggestions, I mean, I think that using the crate, making sure you have a halter as a backup, not, polluting the crate with food and water during the travel time, and making sure that immediately when you stop, you take care of their needs. And also making sure that you find a hotel that is safe and clean and that is pet friendly, that doesn't charge an exorbitant fee to have your cat there. I mean, nobody should pay $100, and I was really appalled at that. That this person would actually have charged me $100 for a cat fee, and that was in Amarillo, Texas. And I love Texas, and I specifically like Amarillo, but residents in Amarillo, Texas, that was wrong. Nobody should pay $100 for a cat fee. If you're going to have a pet policy and you're going to try to charge that much, just don't accept pets. But don't tell me on the phone it's $100 because I could have rented her a whole room for that. So anyway, watch out for that kind of thing. Anyway, this has been Perched Kitty, and this is Season 2, Episode 1. And if you want to, please subscribe to the channel, get notifications so you know when I put up new videos. Visit the website, www.perchedkitty.com. You can visit from there. You can go to our PayPal site, and if you want to contribute to the show to help us keep going, that would be awesome. So we can put on new shows and find new topics and things to talk about your cats and my cat and cat living, all of that kind of thing. So my next show, actually, I've already got it lined up. It's going to be about living in small spaces with cats, and I'm actually going to go, I'm starting to I moved into this apartment, and so what I'm doing now is trying to figure out how I'm going to make this small space okay for her, so that she can live here and be as comfortable as I am. This is a very small apartment. I think I got about 600 square feet here. I got a great view back here. See, it's got a bridge. You can't really see it right now, but there it is. What you're seeing over there is a big bridge, anyway, and buildings and. So we like it here, and this is cat country, and there's a very pet-friendly city. And if you want to comment about your travels with your cat, good or bad, tell us your stories. I would love to hear them, and I can share them later on with our audience. And so, thank you so much for visiting, and thank you so much for tuning in. And this is Perched Kitty, and we'll see you next time on Episode 2.